Okay, so today looking at feet and their function in general health alignment, as well as in our Tai Chi, Qigong, anything we're doing where we're upright. So firstly, with the feet, you have the structure of the feet, and along with that you have how the weight transfers into the feet. From there, you have how the weight then rebounds back up the body. So you have down and up the chain. Now, if you have oddities in the structure of your foot, that will change things such as how your foot tracks when you walk, what angle you roll the weight through the foot. It'll change how the weight then disperses down. And you could look at this as not having a foundation or severing part of a foundation. And when you do that, there are compensation patterns that are required to maintain the structure of the body. So if the feet are in need of improved strength, structure, mobility, alignment, everything above them will be a little bit off, and there'll be tensions that occur which are necessary to make up for the deficiencies in the feet. Now, when we are developing the feet, it can actually be quite painful, and one way to do this is to engage in a standing practice. Say you're standing, basic Jamjong type standing, basic Wuji type standing, anything where you're just standing for very long periods of time. When I've done this and I've had it really function well with the feet, I've done 8 hours of standing and maybe 5 hours of Tai Chi form over the course of the day, as well as some couple hours of seated practice alongside that as well. And over the course of say 10 days, the feet will go through this process of agony. And what it feels like is these different triangles turning on in the feet. So you have the basic arches of the feet. You have the one that comes over top of the front, and then the one along the inside and the one along the outside. So I believe that's the medial arch, the lateral arch, and I guess that would be a transverse arch in the foot. So those are the main three, and that would give you the inside ball of your foot, outside ball of your foot to the heel. Now within that, we can look at this triangle fractally. So there are many different triangles all within triangles. And as you stand there and perceive these different triangles starting to turn on, there'll be very clear ones where it's very clearly physical. These are all the points that are working. Then there will be some that feel almost like harmonics. So maybe there's 2 points that have a firm connection, and one that feels like a harmonic of those 2 points, which creates the triangle. And this process is very useful because the more the feet turn on and can function, the more the body above can be supported. When it's supported, it can release much more fully, and our alignment can start to improve drastically. So after the feet, the knees will start to clear up, the hips will start to clear up, right through the spine, everything moving up the body. And it's when I've put a lot of effort and focus into this aspect of things through just standing, that my physical body has been for months after doing this type of work, 2-3 months, no pain in the knees, no pain in the hips, everything's just moving, gliding very smoothly. So the feet are a great foundation to work on. Now, strengthening the feet can be done through a number of different specific exercises. You can go on YouTube and check out foot strengthening exercises where you push some toes down, lift others' toes up, engaging the arches in different ways, rocking weight back and forth. There's many different ways out there that you can find for strengthening the feet. These are also quite useful. Another one is heavy weights, right, for brief periods of time. So heavy squats, heavy deadlifts, or even just, you don't have to go through a full range of motion, just pick up a really heavy bar and let all of that weight compress the feet. We want the feet to have an elasticity to them, just like we want the whole body to have an elasticity to it, which gives us a springy, vibrant, healthy, fit disposition. If the feet are sluggish and they can't bounce, nothing above it will have good access to that elasticity. So it's very important that the feet are strengthened. Things like jumping rope can be really nice. You don't have to be going high, just small jumps. There's even been, as far as I know, anecdotally, studies done for bone density and it being just jumping, getting that bouncing happening, being as useful as resistance training, or in some cases potentially more useful than resistance training for bone density, but also for the elasticity. So what makes essentially like almost a marker of youth is the ability for tissue to unform or deform and then reform again. And it's when we reform, when that tissue comes back, that's what we need. If it just deforms, that's where you fall and something breaks, a bone breaks, or you break your hip or whatever when you fall. So what we need is for the tissue, the ligaments, the bones, the joints to be able to bend and deform and have the elasticity to then reform back into position. And this is great with the feet. So bouncing on the feet, you start small, even just light bouncing, light jumping, and allow the tissue, give it the opportunity to deform and reform, deform and reform. Then you can increase the stimulus by adding weight or jumping higher as you get stronger. So with this type of stuff, often we hear that impact can lead to deterioration of the joints, and while it seems that that can be the case, what is typically quite useful, even if you look into gymnastics training, they do these big, tricks and movements. They fly up in the air and they land like 14 times body weight on their feet. Now they're doing that landing, once every few minutes. So maybe over the course of an hour, you get, 12 repetitions, 20 repetitions. So it's not a lot of repetition, but it's a lot of impact. It's a lot of stimulus. And the ability to receive that stimulus, that deforming and then reform. So start, of course, small so you don't end up hurting yourself and only deforming and not reforming. We need to allow that strength to develop, but then more intense impact can help with that. Now it's not that you're picking up 500 pounds on your back and jumping off a box for an hour straight and you're getting hundreds of these repetitions in. You would do it more intense impact, maybe 3 reps and 5 reps, and you take 5-10 minutes doing other exercises or just resting, doing your Qigong or your Tai Chi, and then you would do another few repetitions. And this is one way to develop the elasticity of the whole body, but also the strength in the feet, the capability of the feet to engage with the ground and to spring with the ground. So the foot needs to be strong, but it also needs to be mobile. It needs to be able to move, and it needs to be resilient throughout various ranges of motion. This goes right up through the ankle, right up through the knees, right up through the whole body. So go on YouTube, check out, just type in foot strengthening exercises, arch strengthening exercises, toe strengthening exercises, ankle strengthening exercises, and that should give you a place to start for opening up and discovering the potential exercises to just get the feet functioning. Once they're functioning, start adding a little weight and see if they're collapsing or not. When you start jumping a little bit, no weight, doing things like skipping rope, going for a little run, anything to start getting that elasticity functioning. Now, in relation to cleaning out the rest of the body of tensions, it's absolutely critical that the feet can support us. If the feet can support us, if the foundation is there, then the release physically can occur much, much more efficiently. If we have poor alignment, poor function with the feet, it's going to be very difficult, because every time we release, it's going to put weight out through space instead of through the structure that we're looking for, and this will lead to things like an ankle pronating and collapsing, or a knee coming in with a valgus torque or popping out, and it limits the potential for our power. So in Tai Chi, we hear a lot about grounding, connection to the ground, and this is one thing when we develop it that gives us access to a lot more power, because we learn not to bleed force out of these holes in our structure. We hear the word structure a lot. So in the beginning, for at least a few years, focus on that ground connection. That'll help the structure change and clean that structure. It'll help, if you do enough of it, with the feet, which will enhance the structure and the release. And this will mitigate those holes which shoot force or bleed force away from where we're intending it to go. And this is useful for the martial arts. There are many more areas, more refined, with Qigong, meditation, where we want to, again, stop energy from bleeding out, and we want to focus and pinpoint where that energy goes. So start physically, get the health of the feet together. This will help support the whole body, help with posture, and all the good stuff that we're typically looking for. So strong, healthy feet will enhance our ability for a strong, healthy, the rest of us, and also give us more access to power. So you can stand, get your feet functioning. You have those exercises you can find all over YouTube, and then just explore and have fun. Alrighty, that's it for this video. Thanks for your time. Practice, play, have fun.